Hello, welcome back to the reading of the poem of the Man God, written by Maria Valtorta, Volume 4, Chapter 521, Part 3. At Jericho, two parables, that of the sick and the healthy, and that of the Pharisee and the Publican. He did that with the first, then the second and the third tenant, doubling the price to each of them, turning a deaf ear to their entreaties. And as the third tenant, who had a large family, wanted to offer resistance, he sent for the police and had the official seals of distraint affixed to the door and the poor tenant driven out. Then, in his mansion, he examined the registers of his stewards, finding faults whereby he punished them as sluggards and sequestered the goods they had kept for themselves by full right. One of them had a dying son, and because of the heavy expenses, he had sold part of his master's oil to buy medicines. So he had nothing to give the greedy master. Have mercy on me, sir. My poor son is on the point of death, and later on I will do extra work to pay you what you think is fair. But now, as you can understand, I am not in a position to do so. Are you not? I will show you whether you can pay me or not. And he went to the oil mill with the poor steward, and took away also the little oil the man had kept for his family, and to feed the lamp that enabled him to watch at night at the bedside of his son. The publican instead went to his superior, who, on receiving the taxes had collected, said to him, 370 asses are missing here. How come? Well, I will explain it to you. In the village there is a widow with 7 children. Only the oldest is fit to work, but he cannot go far from the shore in his boat because his arms are too weak to handle the oars and the sail, and he cannot afford to engage an assistant. As he fishes near the shore, he catches very little, which is hardly sufficient to feed the 8 poor wretches. I had not the heart to collect the tax. I see, but the law is law. It would be dreadful if people knew that it is compassionate. Everybody would find some reason not to pay. Let the young man change trade and sell his boat if they cannot pay. It is their daily bread, also for the future, and it is a souvenir of their father. I understand, but it is not possible to compromise. All right, but I cannot think of 8 unfortunate people being deprived of their only resource. I will pay the 370 asses. Then the 2 went up to the temple, and on passing near the treasury hall, the Pharisee took a bulky purse from his bosom ostentatiously and emptied it to the last coin into the treasury. The purse contained the money taken from the shopkeepers and the proceeds of the steward's oil that the Pharisee had immediately sold to a merchant. The publican instead threw in a handful of small coins after taking from it what he needed to go back home. So they both gave what they had. Apparently the Pharisee was the more generous because he gave to the last coin he had, but one must also consider that he had more money in his mansion, and he had credits with rich money changers. They then went before the Lord, the Pharisee at the very front, near the limit of the court of the Hebrews, toward the holy, the publican at the back, almost under the vault, opening into the woman's court, where he remained stooped, crushed by the thought of his misery as compared with divine perfection. And they both prayed. The Pharisee, standing up straight, almost insolent, as if he were the landlord of the place, and he were the one who condescended to do homage to a visitor, said, Here I am. I have come to venerate you in the house that is your glory, that is our glory. I have come, although I feel that you are in me, because I am a just man. I know how to behave to be so. However, although I am aware that it is only through my own merit that I am such, I thank you, as prescribed by the law, for what I am. I am not greedy, unjust, adulterous, or a sinner like that publican who threw a handful of small coins into the treasury at the same time as I did. As for me, as you saw, I gave you all I had with me. That greedy fellow instead divided his money into 2 parts and gave you the smaller one. He will certainly keep the other part for revelries and women. But I am pure. I will not be polluted. I am pure and just. I fast twice a week. I pay the tithes of what I possess. Yes, I am pure, just, and blessed, because I am holy. Bear that in mind, O Lord. The publican from his remote corner, without daring to raise his eyes towards the precious stores of the temple, and striking his chest, prayed, saying, Lord, I am not worthy to be here, but you are just and holy, and you still allow me to stay here, because you know that man is a sinner, and if he does not come to you, he becomes a demon. Oh, my Lord, I would like to honor you day and night, but for many hours I am the slave of my work, an unpleasant work that disheartens me, because it is the cause of grief to the poorest of my neighbors. But I must obey my superiors, because it is my daily bread. Grant me, O my God, to be able to mitigate my duty towards my superiors with charity towards my poor brothers, so that I may not be condemned because of my work. Every work is holy if performed with charity. Let your charity be always present to my heart, so that I, miserable as I am, may bear with my subjects as you bear with me, a big sinner. I would have liked to honor you more, Lord. You know, but I thought that to take some of the money destined to the temple was better than putting it in the treasure and causing 8 poor innocent people to weep desolately. But if I made a mistake, let me understand that, O Lord, and I will give you up to the last farthing, and I will go back to my village on foot, begging for a piece of bread. Let me understand your justice. Have mercy on me, O Lord, because I am a big sinner. That is the parable. I solemnly tell you that while the Pharisee left the temple with a fresh sin added to those he had committed before going up to the Moriah, the publican came away justified, and the blessing of God followed him to his house and remained in it, because he was humble and merciful, and his actions were even holier than his words. The Pharisee, instead, was good only in words and exteriorly, whilst internally he was and acted as a demon because of the pride and hardness of his heart, and God therefore detested him. He who exalts himself will, sooner or later, be humbled, if not in this, in future life, and he who humbles himself will be exalted, particularly in heaven, where the actions of men are seen in their true reality. Come, Zacchaeus, come, you who are with him, and you, my apostles and disciples. I will go on speaking to you privately. And he, enveloping himself in his mantle, he goes back to Zacchaeus' house. This has been a reading from the poem of the Man God, written by Maria Vol4-Ch521Pt3, Volume 4, Chapter 521, Part 3, At Jericho. 2 parables, that of the sick and the healthy, and that of the Pharisee and the publican. Thank you for listening. I will see you tomorrow. May God bless you, and may peace be with you.